5. When you fast forward to October 2022, when the Court of Appeal discharged Mazi Nnmadi Kanu, there was also a judgment issuing from the Federal High Court sitting in Umuahia, which had declared his rendition from Kenya as unconstitutional. It didn't stop there. It went as far as declaring his continued detention in Abuja as unconstitutional. What will you do or expect a responsible government to do when the detention of her citizen is declared unconstitutional? You open the gates of the detention center and allow the citizen the free pass to go home. That's what Mazi Nnmadi Kanu deserved to have been done with him since October 2022 when that judgment came. But the federal government never did. That's part of the reason why we are saying his detention has turned extrajudicial and is no longer backed by any coroner. 6. Regarding the December 2023 judgment of the Supreme Court, which people are touting as having sent Mazi Nnmadi Kanu's case back to the High Court for trial, it doesn't end there. If it ends there, then it's a mischievous conclusion. The court went further. It said Mazi Nnmadi Kanu needs to go back to the High Court for trial, but it also said the High Court should not have revoked his bail. It also said that by revoking his bail, the impartiality of the High Court judge had become suspect. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not be lawyers, but when the apex court of the land tells a High Court, you should not have done this, what remains is for a High Court to do that which, or undo that wrong which he had done. And Section 287 of Nigerian Constitution backs this up, because under that section, all subordinate courts in the country, or all courts in the country, are subordinate to the decisions of the Supreme Court. It never happened. 7. Now, talking about the much vaunted trial of Mazi Nnmadi Kanu, we raised objections to this trial too, based on the conditions of his detention, which were very stringent and highly prejudicial to his right to fair trial. This application was summarily denied and an accelerated trial was ordered in its place. We raised a second objection based on certain constitutional infirmities and statutory issues we noticed in the charges facing against Mazi Nnmadi Kanu. This too was summarily denied. So if you were Mazi Nnmadi Kanu, what will you do under the circumstances? To succumb to a trial you knew in your heart to be going towards the trajectory of an unfair trial, or to seek alternatives to that. 8. Having considered those factors which we enunciated, Mazi Nnmadi Kanu felt that the only fair way out of this logjam is to seek that his case be handled by another judge. Hence, the recusal, the famous recusal that is still roiling the system. And in concluding this press statement, ladies and gentlemen of the media, we must go on record to say this. As lawyers, our duty is to ensure that Mazi Nnmadi Kanu's case is conducted or handled in accordance with all the laws pertinent to it, particularly the Constitution of the Federal Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the grand norm. In our view, this has not been the case, and the evidence is legion, as all who have dispassionately followed the trajectories of this case would agree. On this score, ladies and gentlemen, we make bold to state that this case has turned from the legal and the judicial to the political. This is perhaps the reason why there is a broad spectrum of persons and organizations calling for a resolution of this case outside of the judicial part, also known as political solution by baptism. These calls range from the international to the domestic, including members of the Senate, House of Representatives, the clergy, CSOs, eminent lawyers, and many others too numerous to mention. Be that as it may, and judging from 2015 when this case began 9 years ago, there is a trove of evidence that suggests.
Are we your slaves? The way you were elected was the way you were elected. Are we your slaves? How else you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves? Every time you keep on picking leadership for us. We are not your slaves. Whether you like it or not, the way you were elected was the way we were elected. We are not your slaves. The way you were elected was the way we were elected. How else you can suspend me? You have done.
Why would the UN tell them to take active priority over their security situation? Because they know that Africans are the reason for these things. They know. If not, they will not be calling them out. They know. They created it. They invited it. Like in Nigeria, are you not aware that some leaders of this country went to go and they brought these terrorists? Is it not on record? They were even boasting about it. How they went to bring in terrorists into Nigeria. Terrorists. Eh? And you think they don't know? The whole world knows. So that's why they are not, when you are talking about, they will just look the other side. They are not interested. You created it, you brought it, you get back to them. You can see. So how can I not sit down here and say, yeah, government is trying? No. They brought the terrorists into Nigeria. Until they take them back and Nigeria is free, I will not clap for any of them. Whether military or government, I will not. Because the way they have been treating these people is so annoying. When our military managed to catch some of them, they will not rehabilitate them into the military again. Eh? Can you just beat that? Look at how many of our boys that have died in the battlefield. Avoidable death, for God's sake. Chioma, avoidable death. Eh? If you are really a patriot, this thing should anger you more than any other person. I'm not joking. You just watch young men who enrolled into the military being slaughtered at the battlefield. Eh? For what reason? What are they even fighting for? If we are fighting external aggression, we say, okay, these are foreign terrorists, our foreign government that is fighting us. But these are people that are within. Some leaders of this country have told us that we should not attack them, that they are their boys. That the bandits are their boys. Eh? And they have made a very big show out of it.
We have no fear of whatever Trump is doing on the other side. And I've just signed off on a huge mechanization, program that every region we have a mechanized center for agric mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty. All I can promise you is where we started and where we're going. And your children's education, the path to Nigerian recovery, we are on it. Go home, be assured. Don't let anybody threaten you of any uncertainty. We are certain we are going to succeed. That's what we believe in. The honesty in Buhari, what we inherited from him, is total commitment to justice, transparency, and success. That's all. And you won't have anything less than that. You will have joy at the end of this journey. And we will jointly put dime, nickel, kobo, toro together. We will build a Buhari house. That house will be a house of joy and prosperity. I thank you very, very much. Thank you. God bless you.